sorry. I tried to say hi and hello at the same time.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, let me do that again. Hello, everybody.
We can keep that in. That was fun.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a particularly candid Best Friends Club Podcast episode. I'm Fizz.
And I'm Charlotte, and we're your hosts of the Best Friends Club Podcast.
Yeah.
Wow, we're off to such a good start. Yeah, welcome back. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, we've had busy summers, like end of summers, I would say.
I feel like August is just always a really busy month for me because I don't know why, but everything that I plan for the year just happens in August.
Yeah, literally, same. It's just, I think, seasonal transitions and whatnot, but we've been busy.
Yeah.
I've been a bit sick for a couple of days. I'm still sick, but...
She's here. She's powering through for the fans.
Exactly. It's out for DNP, right? So
it's out for DNP. It's six out for DNP. I don't think that works.
The special edition.
Special sick edition of the Best Friends Club podcast.
Oh my god. It's always one of us, I feel like.
It actually is. I was sort of ill. I thought I was going to be ill, but I think it disappeared. So I don't know what that was about because I'm feeling much better now.
Good, that's luck. Keep it, touch wood.
I'll treasure it. I'll treasure the good luck. I think it's all the vitamin C that I've been, snorting. Not literally snorting, but, downing vitamin C.
Good for you. I think I need to do that. I was just in a big crowd the other day, and people are disgusting. But it's fine. I'll recover. I've got my fluids. I've got, 2 bottles of water right next to me, so...
Excellent. Stay hydrated, guys. Stay hydrated.
Exactly.
So, what's been going on? Forget about us. Nobody listens to this podcast to hear about our lives. They want to know about the Dan and Phil gossip. What's the 411 in Fanland?
In Fanland. So, a lot has happened since we last posted. First of all, Tatnov reaction video, which we did say that we recorded before they uploaded it. So
we did.
They copied us.
They did copy us. Absolutely.
It's not our fault. It's not our fault that they have an editor and we don't. And we have work to do and we have lives.
We do have lives. But that's so weird. What are the chances that we record that episode and then they upload that video? That's crazy.
I know, because there was no hint of it either. We had planned.
No.
Obviously, we're not in cahoots with Dan Phil, planning our schedules
I wish we
together.
were. I wish we were.
Maybe by season 3 we'll get there, but right now we're not. But that was an insane video. That would have been great if we had recorded after they uploaded too, because we would have had their But
they're current thoughts that we could have talked about, but instead, unfortunately, Dan and Phil had other plans.
Sabotage. What else?
What else? I mean, there's been lots of videos. We've had some particularly chaotic ones. We had the fan fiction Dan and Phil games video, which I will admit, I have only watched that one once. I think I was away when they uploaded it. I was in Edinburgh when they uploaded it, so I sort of watched it on the train home on my phone. And it was enjoyable, but nothing really stuck in my mind to then rewatch it again. Sorry, Dan and Phil.
It's so fine. I think on a scale of chaos, I would rank that sort of in the middle. It's like a regular chaotic video. I've only watched 3 times, which is less than how much I watch gaming channel videos these days. I'm always watching them. But so after that, we had just the other side of the spectrum. We had Date Night with Dan and Phil.
What a
I think so. video, we don't discuss it at length, but like people knew they had that game, so we were like, maybe they won't. I don't know, but I'm so glad they did it. But I'm also like terrified.
That
And
was like, again, I think.
okay.
Oh no, I think I'm thinking about the other video. I don't know if I was busy or something when they uploaded that, but yeah, that was like, what do you mean date night with Dan and Phil? Like, what are we doing here? What's the agenda?
Like, I remember I sent a text to my friend saying I got an ad break, like I got like a mid roll ad or whatever, and I was so happy because it gave me a break and like gave me space to breathe.
And
What
for
an
me, to be
insane
honest,
video.
honestly, and for me, to be honest, it wasn't even like the actual content of the video was like sort of just very standard 2024 Dan and Phil stuff, like them chit-chatting and like some bants and like some bits that we've not heard. But it was just the audacity for me for them to call it date night with Dan and Phil. Like, absolutely not. If you'd, not to be like a cliche that we say every single episode, but if you'd shown that video screenshot to me in like 2012, I would have lost my mind. My brain would have melted and fallen out of my ears.
No, same, literally same. I cannot. I think it's like the spiritual successor to like the slumber party one, and I thought they
Yes.
wouldn't get worse than the slumber party because I was like, this is just rubbing
Look,
it in our faces.
we should know by now. You can never say, "Oh, surely it can't get worse than," because it can. It always can with Dan and Phil.
Yes. Speaking of which, the pre-tour Q&A video on Amazing
I don't
Show.
I don't want to talk about that. I really don't want to talk about that, Fizz.
It's the most relevant one to the topic at hand, though.
Can you imagine? Right, can you imagine? So picture us, it's 2028. We finally got round to discussing that Q&A video. Like, is that just going to be so like, oh God, like, can you believe how much we freaked out over this back in 2024? Or like, will it still have the impact that it's had on the fandom?
I hate thinking about that actually now.
Like, who knows what's to come?
Oh, don't say that. We're not. It's so scary. The thing is, okay, so like spoilers, we're talking about the tour. We're talking about terrible influence in this episode. And the thing is,
Sort of, in a vague, loose sense.
in a way, yeah, we're just chatting. It's a fan chat. But the thing is, you don't know anything about the show, right?
Yeah.
I know a bunch about the show because I'm not going, so I've been in the spoilers tag, like, tell me everything. It's been fun. But
yeah, that Q&A video was wild. Like, what a way to cold open a video by just blatantly talking about the Japan wedding. Like, I don't need to hear those words. A minute in, I don't need to hear those words from Dan and Phil. Like, please keep that to yourself.
Please stop breaking the fourth wall, especially the other one was the 19th October one. Why do you know that? Just shh.
And if they do know these things, just keep them to yourself. You don't need to share them with us. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, we've been doing this for years. Like, we don't tell you about anything. You pretend you don't see it. It's a happy life now. This is ruining the vibes.
It really is. Like, we've got a good, balance going on here, and they're shifting the balance in ways that I don't like.
It's horrible. On the one hand, obviously, like, in all seriousness, like, yay, we're, like, being let in a bit more. But on the other, I feel like I'm being laughed at. I am being laughed at.
Oh, yeah, they're 100% sitting laughing at us in the Faust. They're sat on their mountain of money that they've earned from this, and they're laughing at us. They're scrolling through Twitter on their phone, and they're like, ha ha ha, look at these stupid little people.
Exactly. And we fall for it every single time. I'm gonna say, I will not be giving them any satisfaction next video. Watch me literally pee my pants when the fan Twitter 3.0 part 3 comes out.
Yeah, it's the third one, yeah.
Oh my god. I can't.
I'm
They're
excited
so
for that video. I've submitted some things for the first time. Some people submitted things on my behalf. But I'm looking forward to seeing if they're going to be in.
I hope they are. I think
This is
I said this to you
because,
already.
yeah.
I think they should be naming and shaming you. I'm sorry for the things
Yeah.
you've been saying.
Yeah, Fizz is laughing because she knows the one tweet that I've included in it, which I feel like it's not going to have the same impact if I like do a dramatic reading of the tweet, because the tweet is just pictures. But
Okay.
someone replied to me actually of the tweet. Let me find it. I don't know if it was let me see if I can find the tweet. Oh, it was the quote tweet that I did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Someone replied to it, and they said, "This is going to be the post they end it on. I can already hear Dan saying, 'Welp, this has been fun,' and the end screen popping up."
I hope it is. I like that. So I found the tweet. I like that there are 5 bookmarks. Who the fuck is bookmarking? Imagine one that's Phil. Just like
people with smart brains. Clearly, that's a top tier tweet. Look, it came to me. It came to me in a vision. I did have to limit the replies because I got quite a few like private quote retweets, and I was like, I didn't want to. I thought it was going to open up to some people and some like weird backlash. So I was like, I'm going to limit the amount of people that can interact with this.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It can't break containment. I'm just scared for you.
Do you know what? If they include it, I'll be happy. That will be my legacy, and I will quite happily live with that.
I think it would be super funny. I'm just saying, it's one of your better tweets. It's very funny.
Thank you. Do you want to describe it for the listeners? I am aware that maybe we have some listeners that don't follow us on like our Twitter accounts or like personal Tumblr Twitter accounts, or maybe they don't really care.
Okay, so
we don't actually like mention our like Twitter handles in this podcast, but I don't want the fame or the fortune.
It's a public account. You can, but it's hard to find because there's no words in this tweet, so you can't search for it easily.
You can't search. I sound clever. I'm smart. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, mastermind. So it's 4 images. The first one is a close-up picture of Dan's armpit, because Dan does not shave his armpits, in case you were wondering. And this is like a huge topic of discussion on the timeline. Anyway, the next 3 pictures are stock images of spaghetti being like twirled in various forks and being picked up.
Like, this is the Danny brain. This is how my mind works. Like, I saw this and I'm like, do you know what? Tasty, delicious, a snack.
Yep. Okay. I see it. Like, I think Felice would do the same thing, is the thing, but Phil would never show us his armpit.
No, he wouldn't.
Perhaps it like, what is it? Like Dan and Danny's match each other's freak? Is that what that is?
I think so.
Like, yes. Take it.
Look, seeing his armpit hair is a rare occurrence, and when we see it, I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest. That's all I'm going to say. The girls who get it, get it. The girls who don't. And that's okay.
That's completely fine. It's true, though. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, look out for that in the next Fan Twitter React video. I really hope that I do and I don't. If it is in it, I am 100% going to get them to like sign a screenshot of it or something when I meet them next year. So fingers crossed, guys. I can completely embarrass myself.
Take a bunch of them. So take like the Phil outfit ranking tweet and be like, this is me, but this is also me. Like,
yeah.
In case you didn't make that connection. These are
I
both
have
memes.
duality. I'm versatile. I have many sides. I have layers.
Exactly.
So, I suppose the big news is tour has started. We are in the throes of Terrible Influence Tour, aka TIT. TIT is happening right now. We're in a TIT.
It's happening.
We're in the TIT.
We are inside it. We're in our TIT era, where we have our tits out for DNP, as we've said.
We're in our titty era, and I think that's going to be the subtitle for this podcast episode. Phandom Chats number 3, 4, I think. Titty era. Would that get cancelled on Spotify? Are we allowed to say the word titty?
I think there's very disgusting things on Spotify. I think we'll be allowed that.
Okay. I will do my research before I title the episode.
Oh my god, imagine clueless people again, when we tweeted out tits out for DNP, there were just people in that hashtag being like, what? Where are they?
That was so fun. So yeah, tour has started. We did a lovely hashtag for the first day of tour last week. I did the tweet. I was the spokesperson for our lovely friends, a Happy DNP on Tumblr and also Twitter. They didn't want to have the fame and the fortune, but they came up with the hashtag, and I bravely volunteered to tweet the hashtag, and it trended on Twitter in the UK and I think maybe America. It was huge. It was massive. Everyone turned blue.
A movement.
It's out for DNP.
Yes. Exactly. You still have time. Tour is on, so you can still get your tits out for DNP.
You can always get your tits out for DNP.
We've had 4 shows so far as of recording this.
Yes.
They're in Frankfurt tomorrow, but just now they had their Poland show. We hope they're resting well.
I hope they are resting well. I think they've been incredibly busy. They finished in Berlin Friday and then flew immediately to Warsaw yesterday morning. Mm-hmm. So they've been busy little bees. So I do hope that they're resting, and they've had a couple of days off now. So I hope that they've had time to recuperate and relax.
Yes.
But yeah, so tour is happening. That's pretty much all that's going on at the moment. We were going to do, again, this episode was supposed to be Aureolic Race, but Dan and Phil decided to start their tour. So we have to talk about that. Yep. Also, lots of other things had happened. So, Phandom Chats, here we are.
Yeah, I prefer these. I mean, I don't prefer these. I do enjoy these, I should say. Just because we get to talk and catch up and be up to date with our sort of discussions.
Yeah, and it's so nice to obviously I love chatting to people via message about stuff, but there's just something very cathartic about talking in person about everything that's happened. And I don't have anybody in person really to talk about unless I send a voice note.
Yeah, I love a voice note, but again, it's just immediate feedback. We are constantly talking over each other because we're do you remember that, and then this, and then that. It's great. It's my favorite part about this.
Absolutely, yeah. So TIT is happening. We're 4 days in. 4 shows in, not 4 days in. Almost a week into tour. That's crazy. But yeah, so you are obviously unable to see the show. RIP. Fizz did try and get tickets to come to Manchester, but it did not happen. The time was not on our side.
I will still try. There are still seats available. I want to
absolutely. You should try
it for Phil's birthday show, but the stars need to align for that to happen. So let's hope they do. But fingers in the meantime, crossed. Fingers crossed. In the meantime, I technically have experienced the show in a way, in some ways that I'm not admit to.
How would you describe the show from what you've seen in 3 words?
In 3 words?
Mm-hmm.
I can give you 5-6 words.
5-6. Okay, go 5-6 words then.
Okay. I think I would describe it as welcome to the ice cream shop. That's the show. That's it. I think it's you are in it. They're like, welcome, sit down, have a snack, and then they like hand you ice cream for like 2 hours. That's what it is. If you understand
Um,
that reference,
and what a
I
place
hope you
to
do.
be. What a place to be.
Mm. So the ice cream shop, some people may not know, but you like should check this video out. It's from one of his answering questions I don't normally answer. I think it's the first one. Um, where someone asks him what his current dating life is like, which by the way, a very risky question to just ask him.
The fact that
And
he
he
then chose
says,
to include it as well. Crazy. Crazy, Phil.
I know, I know. And he, like, Dan wasn't even there as a buffer to make a joke. He just, like, picked it. Anyway, so he said, I like to keep my private life or my personal life private. And if you're looking for a scoop, go to another ice cream shop. Very clever metaphor. I actually like really love it. So that's where the ice cream shop comes from. But this store, and I think this era in general, like this is not a spoiler at all. This era in general has kind of just been like them inching us towards the ice cream shop. Like, we'll let you in. Like, we'll let you sample a few flavors. It's fine. But like, I can feel a shift in the air. It's so weird.
There's something coming. The winds have changed.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared. The thing is, like, I don't expect anything dramatic because the tour is so long, and like,
Yeah, I
how are
don't
they
think
gonna
they're going to
keep?
do anything crazy for the next, like,
Mm,
5 months at least. Like, there's no way that they drop anything crazy or, like, huge while doing a tour.
yeah, exactly. So nothing to worry about. Like, don't like they're not literally gonna be like we're married, or whatever. But I hope not. I hope they're
I
not
hope
getting that
not.
out in the universe.
That
um,
is already out in the universe. I don't think that was the first time that anyone had ever said that.
No, I know. I mean, well, yes, but I hope they don't put that out in the again because it's in the door, and that kind of information is very hard to keep in. Um, so the fact that 4 shows in, nothing has sort of come out to people who don't want to know, I'm quite happy. I'm very relieved. Oh, I wanted to talk a bit like about the aesthetic of the tour, like just a little bit, because the outfits obviously they had on in the first meet and greet, and then during the show is like their leather pants and stuff, and then the next show immediately they like ditched the leather pants. They were like, no, it's too hot.
I think it was like 30 degrees or something in Berlin, like that day, which is why they
Mm.
decided to wear the shorts. So, like, I don't blame them at all.
No, completely. And then I think in the last one they wore sweatpants, which again, do not blame them. They should be as comfy as possible. Leather pants were just, I think, very impractical in the
Yeah,
summer.
I'll be interested to see what the outfits are when, like, I finally see the show in January. Like, it'll be completely different to what it was when they started.
Just sweaters. No, but we need the mesh tops and stuff.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
they
they'll
can keep
keep
the
them.
tops, mesh tops, but like change up the bottoms. Keep your legs breezy, guys.
Yeah, they're like kind of insane for going for leather pants. Ooh, I want to ask you. So obviously, like I said, no spoilers. But do you I just wanted to ask you this generally as well, not just as like a podcast topic, but do you know anything? No follow up. Like, do you know anything?
Yes, I know some
I
things
wanna ask.
that have
I
unfortunately
wanna
slipped through
ask
the
this.
net. So we could
Oh
cut this out.
no.
We'll cut this out. This can just be a chat with us.
Okay. What do you
Um,
know?
Unfortunately, the curse of running like DMP Central and like the Meet DMP account is obviously people are like posting stuff on there, and I can't mute those hashtags because that mutes them for all the other admins on that account. RIP.
Yeah.
Luckily, the only
Fair enough.
spoilers I have seen are things that I already guessed were in the show, so I'm not that
Okay.
surprised. So I know that
I think we can come back.
We've had our spoiler chat, don't worry guys. We've cut all that out for your ears and we're back to spoiler-free chats.
Yes. My opinion is, if you're still on the fence of like, oh, I wanna like find out what the spoilers are, I will say, as someone who has not seen it with my eyes but knows stuff about it, I think it's better to go in blind.
Wow.
I really, really do, because you cannot replicate like the first show shock of hearing and like trying to decipher the things that they were saying and doing. So if you get to see it as well, I think it could be like you're getting your money's worth basically, just fully. Um, so definitely, like I would say, mute the hashtags, mute the keywords, and just or go offline. That's a bit sad, but do what you need to do to cope, and then go see them.
There we
Really
go.
great.
Words of advice from Fizz. See, the thing is, I have never had to do this before because whenever they've toured, whenever like when Dan did his tour, the UK was always first. So I was always seeing
Mm.
like the
Opening
third
show.
or fourth show pretty much. So like I'd have to avoid spoilers for like a week. And people, I think especially during like Tatting Off and Interactive Introverts, people like weren't really posting that much online about them, I don't think, from my memory anyway. Like I don't remember having to like
Mm.
avoid Twitter like to not be spoiled. So
Yeah, same.
like I've never had this issue. So I've always like seen the third or fourth show. So it's like, oh, like it's fine. Like avoid spoilers for like a week. I can do that. But now I've got to avoid spoilers for like 5 months. What? What is
5 months
this?
for being an admin of like all of these like TV Central madness. Like
Honestly.
I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine it. I also think we don't get spoiled like this in real time because no one was doing spaces. No one was doing like live streams of every single
Yeah,
thing.
oh
I
my
don't know if
god.
this was. Mm,
Definitely not during Dan's tour, and definitely not from my. Obviously, they didn't have any pre-show Q&As for like Tatting Off or II, but
mm,
definitely not to my knowledge. There were, I mean, I don't think Twitter Spaces weren't a thing then, so I suppose there wasn't really an easy way to like live record something. But even more now, like this tour, I think just their comeback, like everyone is recording every pre-show Q&A. People are recording audio for all the shows and they're doing the translations, which I will preface as a thing is incredible. And this fandom's dedication
yes.
to archiving and storing every possible version of everything is incredible. I admire everyone who is like working on parts of that so that people have people who live in like deepest, darkest like rainforests who are Danville
In
fans like are
Narnia.
able
Yeah.
to, literally are like
Yeah.
able to access the show. I will say that's incredible. Obviously, like part of me is like you shouldn't really be filming shows, like you shouldn't really be doing that, but that's me.
I think.
So
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I will also add, I think there's a difference between filming and recording audio because Tatnov and Introverts did have audio recordings that people did, just not live. I think people like kept their phones in their pockets or whatever and um, recorded bits that they knew would be different for every show, especially with Introverts, I think, because it was so, like, everyone got a different show, right? Um,
yeah, there were little like
this,
differences. I have like some II audio recordings from like the show, one of the shows that I went to because someone sent it to me, and I would listen to that so much.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the difference now, I think I have just thought of this, and I'm like, it's kind of like the error storification of tit because the entirety of last year and this year, people sort of just like got on TikTok and YouTube and stuff and watched every single live stream of the Era Store, even though it's the same show every single time, except for like the bits where she changes it up and does like acoustic songs. It's kind of like that. It's felt like that to me, just like being in the live stream chats and stuff. Um, I don't know if anyone would agree with that, if you've experienced both things, but um,
No, I definitely agree. It is like it's just that innate need to be like if you're in like a fandom for something, you want to experience everything. And I suppose obviously this is a little bit different because Dan and Phil are doing like a theatre show as opposed to a concert.
Yes.
Like, so that you can film concerts, you can record concerts, whereas like obviously in a theatre it is definitely more sort of frowned upon.
For sure.
But yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's great what people are doing, and I admire them, and I hope that they keep it all up. I will not be listening to any of it or partaking in any of it because I want to remain spoiler-free until January 13th, I think, is my first show.
Oh my god, good luck. I wanted to ask you, are you going to, like, after watching your first show, are you going to go back and, like, listen to, like, the Antwerp show and see, like,
Oh, that would be quite interesting, actually. That would be quite interesting to see, like, if things have changed. I will say, saying that now, that is interesting. I don't know if at the time I'll be bothered. Like, I am so, like even people recording, like, all of the pre-shows, like, I just have absolutely no, like, time or sort of motivation to sit through and watch all these videos. Someone very helpfully has written it all as a Word doc that I think I retweeted it earlier today or something. So they've basically got all the pre-shows that we've had so far and have made a note of not directly transcribed, but they've like written what the question was and Dan and Phil's like rough answer.
That's so helpful.
Which is more helpful to me. I don't have the time to sit and watch a video, but I can sit and read like a Google Doc that's got that on it.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, we love archivists. Best Friends Club Podcast would not exist without people re-uploading their deleted videos. So
absolutely. And speaking of archiving,
whoa!
Shall we move on to what a segue? Shall we speak on to the wonderful work being done by Twitter user Fan Outfits? Wow, they're so great. Archiving all the clothes that Dan and Phil are wearing at every meet and greet. It's so good of them to do that.
Oh my god, we need to give them like an award. To find these outfits within minutes or within the hour is an incredible feat. Just even if you like have an idea, I think it's so amazing because I try to do it just for fun and I was losing my fucking mind because you try to look for Phil's jeans in a badly lit room in Antwerp. It's not fun. It's not.
Yeah, it's not fun. Those are still a mystery to me. I think he made them himself. That's the only answer I have.
Phil, famously crafty Phil.
Yeah. Phil Crafts, how I made my jeans for sure.
Like they were good jeans. To be fair, they were really good jeans. I would have loved to know where they were from. Do we know? We still
No, I haven't. I can't find them. I don't know where they're from. I've just hunted high and low. And the thing is, like, he must have bought them pretty recently because he's bought them for tour. But like, there's literally nothing online that looks semi-similar. There is a couple like dupes that I found that sort of look the same, but there's like little details that don't match up, and I'm like, well, that's not them.
Amazing Phil, please DM Fan Outfits for
please DM Fan Outfits
like this. Please, we should like have a two-way relationship with that. Yeah,
we should. But yeah, for those unaware, I also run Fan Outfits on Twitter and Fan Outfits blog on Tumblr, and I did it for Doom Tour, and I didn't do it as what's the word I'm looking for, like systematically for Tatanoff and II. But for Doom Tour, I made a beautiful little Google Doc with a nice little table that was all organised super neatly with every show, every outfit Dan wore, and for the meet and greet specifically, and then a picture of him at the meet and greet. And I'm doing the same again for this tour. It's a beautiful little Word doc. It's on Fan Outfits if you want to go and have a look at it. And yeah, we're 4 shows in. It's all been updated. The Google Doc formatting has been stressing me out, but I think it's the issue.
It'll get better. But that's literally, again, such an amazing feat. Thank you so much to Charlotte.
You're very welcome.
Because I know lots of people really like to find like dupes of clothes. And because Dan and Phil especially have been stepping up their fashion game and wearing like very cool pieces that some people, depending on what your situation is, you can get the exact ones or you can find dupes. So thank you for your service because you also gave us links to buy them.
You're very welcome. It's a hard life. It's a hard job.
But someone has to do it. Someone has to do it.
Someone has to do it, and I have bravely volunteered.
Thank you so much. You did this
When I took over that Fan Outfits account back in like 2017, I said, this is it. This is what I'm dedicating my life to.
It's amazing to have a niche and a brand. I do love that for you.
Thank you. Yeah. Hit tour. What else is there to say? What else is there to say, to be honest? So me and Fizz were discussing earlier today, like some stuff we wanted to talk about, because we had like a loose plan. Because it was just going to be like a fandom chats. And Fizz uttered some words to me that, let me tell you, listeners, shook me to my very core. So long-time listeners of the pod will know that I am the honorary Danny of the podcast and that Fizz is the honorary Philly. And Fizz uttered words to me today where she said she said the phrase, the Danification of Fizz, because things have been happening in the land of Fizz. And I said, don't tell me, please save this discussion for the podcast so that me and the listeners can hear about your transformation and turn to the good side.
The good side? Hey, okay. Hold on. I want to preface this by saying I am a Philly forever. Hashtag Philly, Fizz Philly forever. Always. Right? That's my man. The thing is, I've been spending the past couple of months educating a friend about Danafil, feducating, if you will.
Excellent fun.
Yeah. We call me the professor. Like, that is a legitimate joke.
I love that. That's so good.
So along with like providing material and like sort of explaining the lore of Danfil and making playlists and stuff, like I have a starter pack playlist. I have one for Phil with like his more arty videos from back in the day. And I made one for Dan where he has like basically the videos that are like about his life journey. So you have College Dropout, you have The Meaning of Life, Existential Crisis, basically I'm gay, trying to live my truth, all of those, right? And I rewatched those recently, all in one row, all in a row. And what happened to me was very profound. I was like, I think I like not.
Did you see the light? Like, did you see God?
I was literally like, I love Dan so much. He's such a good egg. And I like had a complete breakdown at home. I was like,
oh my God,
he's so good. I can't explain it. And now since then, every video I've watched, unrelated, right? I've just been watching him and being like, wow, what a good bean. I love you. Like, you are my best boy. You are so precious to me. You know what I did? I placed an order for You Will Get Through the Night. I've never owned a copy of this book. I've never read it.
Whoa! Oh my God!
It arrived yesterday. I will be getting through my Danny era by reading this book.
I have, so I didn't read it. I do have a copy, but I listened to the audiobook of it, which Dan narrates himself. Because I wasn't sitting and reading it at home, so it was quite a nice, like, I think it's quite a nice audiobook because it's very, obviously it's like a self-help, mental health book, so it was quite nice to listen to. Yeah, so it was good, and I have some pages tabbed, and I think it's that whole thing, like, I forget that I have it, and like when I'm sort of stressed or like overwhelmed or like feeling anxious, I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And then I'll think like after the fact, like, Charlotte, you literally have like a book by your favourite person that's like designed to help you do stuff. Like, why not go and pick that up? And I'm like, oh yeah, I probably could do that.
Yeah, honestly, but like for me, it's easier to sort of like pick up and open a video of his to watch. Another part of it is, I think, so I have yet to watch Doomed fully. I get very overwhelmed by what he talks about very quickly, so I can't. So I need to be in a headspace to watch it. But I know a bunch about it. I know about his last sort of monologue that he does, which did bring me to tears. I was like, ugh. like sobbing. Um,
So have you
it was.
watched any clips of that, or have you just seen what it's about?
I've seen what it's about. I haven't watched it.
Oh my god, Fizz, if
But
you're
I don't know
crying at
if
that, you're going to be in tears watching the actual thing.
I'm so and the thing is, like, every time he talks about it as well, he calls it his magnum opus. He like is very proud of Doom, right? So it just reconfirms for me something that I've known for years, which is that he puts everything he has into his work, from like YouTube videos to tours to books to everything. Like, he thinks so much about it, and I relate to that so much. But um that's like one thing. That's one thing that is like part of the Daniel. It's how do I say, like, it's like a three-part thing. So there's one where I'm like, you are just like parasocially, like, you are my best boy, you are my best friend, I love you, my Gemini brother. Then it's just like seeing him work so hard. And then the third thing is just like revival era is just reaffirming to me how much he loves us, because he's so loud about it. And I'm like, oh my god, I've waited years for this. Because remember when he would say, like, when people would say I love you to him, he'd be like, I can't say I love you back, you might be a cannibal. And now he's just like
Yeah.
saying it.
Now he's so
Yeah.
open with his love. He's so like open and proud about it, and he used to be so closed off, and he's now loud
Mm.
and proud, literally.
Mm. Literally, yeah. I think there's been like a lot of healing in the revival era, especially between Dan and the audience. Something, again, he's talked about it, but with the gaming channel coming back as well, like, there's a huge difference just even from last year to this year, where I don't know, he just seems very light now. Like, there's nothing sort of burdening him as such, and it's very, very nice to see. So yeah.
Wow. Round of
Yeah.
applause. Welcome.
Welcome. I will not be saying the things that you say about his armpits anytime soon, but I do.
I respect that. That's fine. I'll keep those tweets for myself.
I like the other, literally the other side of it, where I'm like, just crying over everything he says and does. I'm just like, that's just a little boy. Like,
I mean, I'm doing all that as well, but I have
Yes,
to hide it
true.
with the humour of tweeting about eating his armpit hair. So we all have
No,
our...
no, I'm not discounting you. I'm just saying I'm still on the other side of that. I haven't even come to like the center of horny tweeting about Dan Howe, because I won't. I don't see myself doing that.
I feel like you can't horny tweet about Dan Howell unless you had a massive crush on him back in 2012.
Interesting hypothesis. I would agree. I would agree.
Like, I was back there when he was posting that selfie in the Wildcat shirt. Like, I was there at that time, so I'm allowed to horny think about him in my mind.
Horny think about him. Horny friends. What's called, like, not horny. Yeah, no, that's a good phrase.
But I just wanted to go back. Everything that you said about Dan is all of the reasons that I love him. Like, obviously all the superficial stuff as well. He's very silly. He's very stupid. He has a smile that brightens the darkest of places in the night.
Okay,
and aside from the and aside from the fact that he is the most beautiful man that I've ever seen in my entire life, like, one of my favorite things about him, which I don't know, I think I've talked about this in other episodes and I've talked about them in a whole, is just like, just how much like he puts into everything. Like, he doesn't just, I mean, both of them, but I think specifically about Dan, he cares so much about every single thing that he does. So like Doomed, like, that was like his thing. He poured literally his heart and soul into that entire show, and I'm so happy that I got to tell him that. I got to tell him, like, one of my favorite things about you is how passionate you are. You are like he just, and he was like I don't have to explain it, but like he just puts because he wants everything to be so perfect. He wants everything to have this big deep meaning, and for it to mean something, not just to like himself but to everyone, that he will just work himself to the bone to make it the best that he can.
Yes, and I think with him, and also I will attach Phil to this. I think the very unique and amazing thing about Dan and Phil is, and I was discussing this with my friend the other day, that they are the reason they're so good at their jobs and that they have this relationship with us is because they read the text as it were. Like, they go back, they look at their life, they look at their work, and they reanalyze it, and they talk about it all the fucking time. Like, they went from like cringing at their old videos to now looking back fondly. Like, they had that development, and we saw it in front of our, like, in front of us, basically. And that is so similar to our experiences with ourselves and also with them. Like, we have really grown up together, and I don't know, like, it's just so different to other content creators from their era of YouTube, I feel like, because everyone sort of moved on and done other things. And not to say again that they haven't, they obviously have. But this era just especially, just, I keep saying this, but it feels like coming home. I'm just like, wow.
Why are you trying to make me cry, Fizz, on the podcast?
I'm sorry. It's gonna be so funny when this podcast is just like Titty Era or whatever we said it was, and then
we have this big deep chat.
And it's just like our saddest fandom chats ever. I'm so sorry. I've been so emo about Dan and Phil this past month. But I have to get this out. Like, with Phil as well, again, he's seeing us after years. And he's been looking so happy meeting everyone. I'm just like, oh, I want to meet you so bad, but I don't want to meet you. It's very complicated. There is a part, we can cut this out, but I will say there is a similar sort of vent about Phil that I can't do without spoiling it. So I'm
my god, yeah. Okay. Oh my god, Fizz, why would you say that to me?
I'm so sorry. It has, like, it's very minor, don't worry about it, but it's just generally, I'm like...
I don't get emo over Phil at all, so if that makes me, like, emo, I'm gonna be writing to you personally for compensation.
No.
Phil doesn't make me emo. He's like the happy pill that you take. Like, you don't go to Phil, like, to feel deep emotional things. You go to Phil to feel happy. And that's why I go to Phil. That's why, spoiler, I mean, we can keep this in if you want. I don't know how this is going to edit when we sound it. But, like, my go-to comfort Dan and Phil videos before Gaming Channel Revival were all Phil videos. None of them were Dan's. Because, spoiler alert, a lot of Dan's videos weren't, like, super joyful. They were, like, quite traumatic stories. But, like, my go-to... Like, there was some humour in there, obviously. But, like, all of my go-to comfort Dan and Phil videos were all Phil videos because he's like your little happy pill that you take to feel happy. So, like, and, like, he just carried on when we had the Gaming Channel hiatus, when Dan disappeared on us. You know, Phil kept us going. He kept us fed. And I was like, yeah, that's great. This is what Phil's here for. He's here to keep us going, to keep our spirits high, and to keep us engaged. And that's how I see Phil, and I don't want that to come across in, like, a negative way, but I think that's just how Phil has always been. He's always been, and I think he said that in his channel as well, like, that's why he doesn't swear. Like, he wants his channel and his space to be this, like, little happy place that you can come to and escape.
Yeah, like, definitely, yeah. I think, I mean, there's a lot of discords that can be, like, happen when you think about how Phil kept everyone going. Through lockdown, through, you know, drought era, hiatus era. And I think, again, like, saying, all of my, like, favorite videos to watch when I need comfort are going to be Amazing Phil videos. They're just nice to have in the background. It's kind of like hanging out with a friend. Again, hashtag parasocial, but it's not, it's very two-way right now, okay? I feel like they consider us our best friends also. So it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
I want to ask you, as someone who doesn't know almost anything, do you have any theories or predictions based on nothing? Just like silly, do you have any thoughts?
Ooh. Do you know what? I really haven't given it much thought.
Ooh, okay.
Because I think like the scope is so wide. Like anything that I think of, they'd be like, yeah, that's in it. Like, oh yeah, that's in it too. Like, oh yeah, there's a link to that. Like anything. But I honestly, I don't have any theories. I haven't really given it a thought. Only the things that have been like subtly hinted at from like Dan's teaser trailer that he did. And then obviously like Phil's tweet about like fan conspiracies and theories. Like, I don't really have any thoughts, and I'm very welcome and open to being completely surprised. And that's one of the reasons I want to be spoiler free. Like, obviously, fair enough, and it's everybody's prerogative if they want to know everything before they go. And people have obviously been able to see it now and don't have to wait till January. But I know me personally, I will. Not that I'm not going to have I would have a terrible time if I was spoiled, but I just know I'm going to have a much better time, and I will enjoy it so much more if I go in knowing nothing.
Nothing, exactly. Yeah, that's a good.
Which I feel like is like obviously like, oh, like 1 + 1 = 2. Like obviously you're going to enjoy it if you don't know anything, but like I want to have that like complete and utter surprise. Like when I first saw Doomed tour, I think I saw the second show, so like luckily like I just avoided spoilers for like 24 hours. When Dan started that show with a song and a musical number, and I was literally like melted into my seat, and I was like, what on earth am I watching? Like, what is this? What is going on?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, I don't know. I think people do this for films as well and TV shows and stuff. They go in blind, and this shouldn't have to be different at all. But that's cool. I like that you have not given it much thought. I hope this continues for the next 5 months.
Pray for me, please.
But I wonder how much they are going to give, because just today, like a couple of hours ago, Dan tweeted a clip from the show. And he put it on his Instagram story, which was quite evil of him. Just a joke, but also just like, we've been tagging spoilers for a week. Why would you do that?
Obviously, like, as someone who hasn't seen the show, like, I don't know what that is referencing. Like, that was like, oh, what's going on? This looks like a rave. Like, what is going on? Why does Dan have a megaphone? Why are people dancing? Do you know what I mean? Like, that didn't provide, like, any context for me. So I'm hoping if they are going to post anything, it will be very subtle spoilers. I can't just avoid the internet for 5 months. That would be impossible.
I know. I wonder if it's a new approach they're taking with promo, like purposefully. Because the thing is, they have every right to ask people to take down spoilers. They can't ask everyone because now it's gone too big. But they could like get people kicked out for filming and stuff. And it hasn't happened yet, and I wonder if it will if it gets worse. Or if they'll just let it be because it creates buzz as well. Like, there's just a curiosity thing. Like, I wonder if ticket sales go up if more people see it or whatever.
Very interesting. I think obviously people that maybe like were on the fence about buying tickets obviously won't be like muting hashtag DMP tit spoilers. So like things might like pop up for them and they'll think, oh, like, is this what happens in the show? I'm going to go buy some tickets now. So I think there'll be a bit of that. I can't imagine that will impact or have like a huge increase in ticket sales, but who knows? Maybe.
It definitely made me like more determined to make it to Phil's birthday show. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I just have to be there.
I think that was everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like segue wise, like I feel like anything we talk about now would just be for like just adding it on. But that was I'm gonna try for like an hour. Good lord.
Oh my god. It'll be like, I think most of that is just like my dad monologue, just being like
That was a good monologue. Have I told you about the Dan and Phil tattoo that I got? Well, I haven't got it. It's in my head. Whether I actually get it, I don't know. I don't have the actual tattoo. So I don't. So I got Dan. I got Dan to write some lyrics down for me when I met him. I can't remember if I've told you this or not, or if I've mentioned it before on the pod. I feel like I vaguely mentioned it, but maybe I haven't. Maybe I spoke to somebody else about that. So, one of my favourite bands is Hippocampus. I don't know whether this ends up in the actual podcast episode. Who knows? So my favourite band is a band called Hippocampus. I have been a fan of them since 2015. And one of their, it was their second EP that they released. There's a song on that called Dollar Bill. And it's a good song. I really like it. It's nothing special, but it's a fun song. Go listen to it. I will always recommend people to listen to Hippocampus. But there's a lyric in it. And I think I must have I've talked about this because I have a tag for it on my Tumblr. Oh, and when we talked about Tumblr, yeah, I have a tag for the lyric. God, Fizz, so fake. So one of the lyrics in this song is with a fistful of heart and a pocket full of stars. So I have told you this. Okay. So I got Dan to write fistful of heart, and my plan is to get that tattooed on my body because it's not like it's a lyric I really like. It's not my favourite Hippocampus song, and they've released better songs since. But it's just something I've always associated with him. So I got Dan to write that, and then Pocket Full of Stars, I was like, that's Phil. That's Phil. That's a Phil lyric. Very Phil. So my plan is maybe to get Phil to write that, and then I get the complete tattoo.
Yeah, where do you know where you're gonna get it?
I don't know, Fizz. I've had this writing on a bit of paper for 2 years sat in my room, so I'm not holding out any hope that this tattoo will be happening anytime soon. So.
Oh wow. 5 months though, you'll meet Phil and be like, "Can you please write?"
I'll get him to write it, and then when the time feels right, when I actually commit to it, I think I'm not going to get a whole sleeve, and I think if I were to ever get a tattoo, a Dan and Phil tattoo would be very fitting.
I think so too.
So
I haven't thought about a Dan and Phil tattoo.
I had an idea way back in 2018 when II was happening, and I was like, oh my god, in my real big throes of Dan and Phil in my life. I love them. I got someone to design me. So the II font that they used for all the posters, it was the way that they wrote it. It was sort of bubble writing, so it was sort of 3D, but it had little arrows on it. So the N on introvert in interactive and introverts, it was the lines didn't match up on the writing, and it had little arrows. And I was like, that's so cool, a little font. So I got someone to design for me and ampersand, the and sign, in that style.
Oh, cute, the ampersand, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that'd be a cute little subtle Dan and Phil tattoo. And I got someone to design it for me. I paid them to design it. It wasn't super expensive, but I got them to draw it better than I could. And that's just been sat in my files on my Google Drive since 2018.
Wow, that's so cute. I still haven't thought of mine. I maybe house or something.
That'd be so cute.
Yeah.
A house with a little ampersand in it.
That is so cute. Wait, I'm gonna write that down. Thank you, Charlotte. I've drawn it. It will not be this. Maybe I can ask them to draw it when I meet them eventually, because it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. So I'm I
believe in you. I'm manifesting it for you.
Thank you.
So that was our fandom chats number 4 or 5. I can't remember. 4. I probably should have checked. Number 4. Thank you. It's been really fun. We were going to do Oreo Lick Race, but tour started, and we were we have so much to catch up on. We haven't spoken for 3 weeks. Let's just have a big chat and see what happens. And we've spoken for over an hour, so I think it was definitely needed.
Yes, I think so too. I think it needed to happen, but I'm glad it did. So hopefully, unless Dan and Phil pull some shit, next episode will be Oreo Lick Race.
Next episode will be Oreo Lick Race. We were going to do that one, but we didn't have the time to do the research needed for Oreo Lick Race. So we're quick fandom chats, and there's lots to discuss with Oreo Lick Race. So we want to we want to give it the podcast episode it deserves and do it justice.
Exactly. So we'll come back with that. But thank you so much for listening to our fandom chats about TIT, Terrible Influence Tour.
Happy titty era.
Tour.com.
Get your tickets, get your tits out, everything.
Everything. I want my 5% commission, please, Dan and Phil.
If any of you buy a ticket to TIT because you've listened to this, tell us, please, because that would be incredible. Please. I feel like
I know.
Or if you already have tickets and you buy another ticket because we've talked about it and we've like inspired you, please tell us.
Please tell us. Please tell Dan and Phil in your pre-show questions. And
I bought tickets to your tour because I listened to the Dan and Phil podcast, and Dan and Phil are like, "What? What's the Dan and Phil podcast?" And then that's when I stand up from the audience and I go, "The Best Friends Club podcast. Please listen. Here's a QR code."
Just hand out like business cards with the QR code.
I should design business cards to hand out all the tour dates. Be like, please listen to the podcast.
Oh my god, we should make bracelets. Just like that's the best friend club.
Oh my god, we should.
Would be so cute. Oh my god.
I don't think I've seen anyone make a bracelet with that actually.
People should. That's a very good niche reference.
That is a really good one. I haven't seen everybody's bracelets that people have made, but like I've got lots of friends that have made bracelets, and I don't think I've seen any that have said that. Up your game, please. I will not be making bracelets. I don't have the time or the energy really. I will have the bracelets that people give to me, but I won't be making any myself.
Please trade bracelets with Charlotte. We just spoke like even more. This is a great wrap up.
But yeah, thank you all so much for listening. We will be back next episode at an undetermined date and time. And we look forward to speaking into your ears. I don't know how to phrase that. That sounded nice. Not weird.
We'll be back in your ears soon. There's no nice way to say that. Yes.
There isn't no nice way to say it. Right, thank you everyone for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.